Hi, good morning or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I had planned on doing a video about all my ideas I had over the years for TV series. However, I thought I might do a little something different this time. I went with a friend to the mall and got dressed up. Basically, we didn't no shopping really. I just wanted to get dressed up and practice. And I want to talk about what's going through my mind as I'm out and about. Um, I'm still self-conscious. I guess maybe that'll never go away. I know I've got to work on my voice, and my eyebrows are better. One thing I should have done, I corrected myself for this video, but I um, instead of using wig glue on the wig itself and then applying that, I did it on my forehead, and I was really self-conscious. When I was walking through the mall. I was with a friend, and luckily, fortunately, I had I was kind of cheap, but I had a, a, a woman's, a thin, bracelet, whatever you call it. And when I'm walking through, even though I think I look presentable, I haven't had any comments yet on other than, you look nice or something. I haven't had any constructive criticism about how I look, but I think I'm looking pretty good. One thing that I changed is, or improved upon, is contouring. I went to Ulta and somebody at the salon, who's a good makeup artist, she said that for my lips, I wanted to ask her about contouring. In terms of lipsticks, how would my particular mouth be contoured? And she recommended focusing on the lower lip and going on the sides, using my lip liner um, to do it thicker and then not really have anything in the middle, because fortunately, I guess I've been blessed with good lips. So I don't have to overdraw or something like that. And I'm wearing my necklace. And all right, so as good as I think I do look, when I look at a woman as we're approaching, I know enough in my mind to just pretend that she's just a person. And when I get myself, okay, before I get going to gear myself up, if somebody's picking me up, like this friend did today, I get dressed up, and then I spend some time just mentally thinking, I'm a girl, and walk, practice walking. I do a little sway. I don't try to do it too much because it might attract attention, but I do practice a bit, and I just keep thinking, I'm a girl, I'm a woman, just like any other woman. I get myself into that frame of mind, just like kind of hypnotizing myself. And so so I'm with my friend, and then we're walking through the mall, and admittedly, my wig started moving up. Fortunately, as I said, I had that, I forget what you call it, so that kind of held it in place. But so I'm going through, and there are other women nearby. I'm thinking, in my mind, they're seeing me as a man dressed up. Now, there are good things, because I am clearly looking presentable. I'm not slutty. I'm at least not too slutty, and sexy. There's a difference between sexy and slutty. But I think I'm looking presentable. In fact, let me show you a little bit, and I'm wearing my leggings. Um, I wish I had a better view. I'm living in an apartment, so I wish I could show you better angles. I see these um, I see these YouTube content creators on, of course, YouTube, and they have the cameras all angled and everything, and I wish I could do that, but um, suffice it to say, you work with what you have, right? So when I'm walking around, I see women go by. Um, I make sure to just look at them as people walking by. No ogling, no, well, not that I really ogle that much anyway, but like, no, like if I were a man, if I were like presenting as a man, um, I wouldn't have as many qualms about looking like glancing over a pretty woman going by. But I've got to remember now. I'm not ogling. I'm just like any guy. I just notice. Oh, look, pretty woman. But I've got to. I train myself. I keep in my head. I'm a woman, and I'm walking through, and there's just another fellow human being walking by. So then that way, that doesn't. I don't betray my true gender. Um, so walking alone is something. I'm making sure that my left leg, when I'm swaying a little bit back and forth, my hips, and I've read that women walk with their hips rather than how do they guys walk? I should know, right? Guys, I think walk with their feet. They walk with their legs, whereas women walk more with their hips. Um, but I don't want to exaggerate because that would call attention to it being fake and exaggerated. Um, so my leg is still recovering. The muscles in my left leg are still recovering from the minor stroke I had in New Year's Eve going into 2018. So every little chance I get is good. Um, I have high heels. I'd love to be able to practice high heels, and I have a little bit. And in previous videos, I've said that practicing in high heels really would help me. It does help me. I've done it. I don't do it as often. It does help me with strengthening the muscles and getting my left leg to walk straight. So, and of course, when I'm walking alongside someone, there are a few things. Okay, here are a few things that I know I feel like I should improve upon, um, including my voice. um, when I'm walking with somebody and we're walking together, how do women walk and talk at the same time? Because I guess as a guy, I'm walking straight forward, and I've got to learn something I was trying to keep in mind. Don't walk so fast as a woman. You've got to walk, along with the swaying of the hips, you've got to take shorter steps and move more quick. Take those steps more frequently, but take shorter steps. And if I were to walk in higher heels or just heels in general, that I guess would kind of kick in. It's something weird. I guess women just go through practicing in high heels, and I'm certainly trying to catch up. Right. By the way, I want to. These are earrings that I got because I was going to an event around St. Valentine's Day. So I figured this would match the sweater dress I had. I've worn it before, the sweater dress, and I think I'm getting better overall. I still have this impression that they were all clocking me. Clocking meaning they can tell that I'm really a man dressed up. There's nothing I can do about the chin. So what do you do in a pressure situation like that? Because it applies not only to when you're cross-dressing or something like this and trying to go undercover, but um, the there are experiences in life when you have to um, do the best and forget that or ignore that your eyes are on you. Um, and I guess that goes for performing. Performing too. Got to work on that melody. That as long as I'm doing a video now. Oh, by the way, in case you can't tell, I don't know if this is reversed, but it's something I noticed Madonna was wearing it, and this is not just because of Madonna. Um, I love Kabbalah, and I like reading about Kabbalah because it's the mystical aspect of my heritage, which is Judaism. So the T-shirt reads, "Kabbalists do it better," which is something that, of course, I believe in wholeheartedly. Um, so maybe I guess next time I will go through the different videos, the different TV series that I had that I had developed myself, and tell you some of the history and some of the format. I don't know. I guess I won't ever have the chance. I can't. I don't want to say I will never have. That's a defeatist attitude, but I want to mention each each idea for TV series I've had. I started it in towards the end of college and built it up rather quickly. So I want to tell you what the characters for each show, what the characters were like that I envisioned, and what the inspiration was, and maybe some of the ideas for episodes. I can't think of much else. I figured this seems like a better, more lifelike wig. Oh, I've got to tell you. Okay, the previous video that I did was before I went to the Purim party, and I got to tell you what happened at the Purim party. All right, so if you don't know, Purim is a holiday in Judaism where it's based on the Book of Esther, and people get dressed up. It's very fun. Somebody compared it to Mardi Gras, and you dress up in different costumes, and you read the Book of Esther, and it's a lot of fun. And you dress up. I guess the point being that you're disguising yourself so that another one of those moments when the story of the Book of Esther is about somebody, like in his history in general, people declaring that kill all the Jews. I hope I don't get demonetized by saying that. Anyway, I didn't even realize that. Sorry. Sorry. So anyway, so I think that ties in with the costumes. So I'm guessing that you disguise yourself. Anyway, it's a lot of fun, and it was on a Saturday evening, and of course in the morning I would be dressing up anyway to do these videos, and in my previous video should be that one that I had done before the Purim party, and so I wore this, and guess what? A neighbor who knows about my cross-dressing, he drove me over. He asked me, "Are you going tonight?" And I hadn't planned on it, but he's a Christian, and he is, however, very curious and very knowledgeable. He really impressed me with some, what he knows about the Bible. He's very curious about Judaism, and we've been to temple together. In fact, when I drove over with it, or he drove me over, we came in. There's a big social hall, and he said this is where it all began, meaning that I went. It wasn't technically the first time we met, but there was I think it was a painting, something like, there was an artist that was there, and they had all these things, like sort of like a gallery on display in the social hall. And so that's what he meant. Like it started right here. So we came in and I was wearing a sweater, that sweater skirt that I was talking about, and several layers of pantyhose. And it's a good thing because it was cold outside anyway. But it was helping my hip pads to be disguised because I really wanted to wear that skirt. um, it was about halfway down from my hips. It's halfway down to my knees. And it was a sweater. It was pink and looked good. Mock turtleneck, I think is what they call it. And I was wearing this hair. And so he has, like, I think two daughters. He has three children, and one of them's a daughter. And so she and I were sitting and chatting, and she asked me if this hair was real, and I said no. And it's strange, it's interesting. So she's very young. There's Generation X, there's Baby Boomer, Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, and I guess she's Generation Z, something like that. And so they would be more accustomed to transgender, cross-dressing, and ambidextrous, um, and more something or other. So they're more used to that. So I don't know whether she thought that anything about my background, but it was nice her asking me if this hair was real. And I guess it looks pretty real. I mean, this is probably my best. Now, if I've done videos on this channel in my blonde wig, and as much as I like blonde, I got that just so I could have one in time for Halloween. This past Halloween, when I wanted to go as a mermaid, and I want to go. When my money is a little tight. This is my first week at my new job. They like me. They really like me. To quote, I think of Sally Fields in I think her Sally Fields at an Oscar acceptance speech. But anyway, they really like me. And I'm glad that this is a job where I had I'd gone through a temp agency in another department, and they eliminated that department. And so I was out of a job, and I continued with the temp agency, but it seemed that the job that the temp agency had in mind just kept delaying and delaying and delaying. So, and I could work from home. The only caveat, the only silver lining was that I could maybe dress up and, as a woman when I'm working, or at least dress in women's clothing when I'm working. And so that, I figured that wasn't good because it was delaying and delaying and delaying. So one of the coworkers that knows about my cross-dressing, and I share pictures with her. I was, by the way, in that small transportation department. There were a few women there that I'm really happy they were accepting of me cross-dressing. I would just show I haven't gone in cross-dressed, although they, as a company, they make, I don't want to say a big deal, but they make a big deal about making sure that everybody feels accepted and welcomed. And I won't go into what industry it is, but that does help. That really does help. Not only for the clients that we have, but the colleagues in general. If I could summarize maybe something that if I could put words in the mouth of the company, it would be perhaps an employee who feels comfortable and feels energized, does well. Nothing I've heard or read, but I think that's their attitude. So anyway, there is somebody, incidentally, who does dress as a woman on a daily basis. So, and then there's somebody else who is married. She's married to a woman. So I feel at home, like as opposed to some of the other jobs I've had, I feel less pressure. In case part of me really wants to come out and say, "Hey, look at how well I do this," and part of me also feels that urge to dress up like every day, just come in. But I'm honest with myself. I am not a woman. I'm a man. I identify as a man, and I get kind of kicks looking as feminine as possible and saying I'm a man. Um, and just as a matter of fact, today, when I was with the friend, we were about to drive over to the mall. I had this thought I shared with her that in light of these things where trans women are in women's bathrooms, and there's been a whole ugly controversy about that. Um, I wondered what what would happen, and also from my point of view, in terms of progress, um, what would happen if I were to go into the men's room where technically I belong, um, and do maybe actually I use my this is my makeup palette. I put in foundation. It's a little trick. I put in foundation, and then I have a spray, a glow mist that I spray over it, and I wipe it, and then I apply it to my face. A little makeup tip there. Um, so I noticed, whoops, this still shows. I should have washed it off. So I told her, what would happen? I have this little urge, like, what would happen if I were to go into a men's bathroom at the mall and just wash it off? There is one video I saw one time of a crossdresser who went into a men's bathroom, and you could see the men go by, and I think he looked pretty good. He was passable, sort of. And the guys weren't saying anything. Like, I don't know if they knew or whatever. I don't think they did. They just did their own business. He was just at the mirror, just freshening up his makeup or something. But the guys were just going by, and maybe they would glance or something, and they knew that this person was there. So part of me just wanted somebody to go up and say, you should be in the woman's bathroom. Not that I would go there. Not that I'm eager to jump ship, so to speak, or cause controversy, but I just wanted like recognition as to how good I look. How close am I to approaching being a woman? Now, of course, I am. I need to slim down my waist, and I asked my coworker because, well, if she knew about sewing, because there's a pattern. I bought the materials. I wanted to construct a padding pants. Like they would be pants you'd wear underneath, and they would have cushioned padding to create a sense of wider hips and wider butt. And I had that in mind to work with a friend of mine. He's a lot older. I should say sorry. She's a lot older. And so I hope she doesn't see this. Anyway, I get the feeling that because I sent him a message in the past week asking, hey, let's work on this. Remember this project? And he saw it, but on Facebook messages, you could tell when somebody's read a message. So she evidently saw the message. She said, good Shabbos, meaning it was Friday evening. And she said something like, it's been chaos, because our temple is moving, essentially. So my impression is that, I did this even before getting the message. My impression had been all along that if she's involved in all these activities, which she is, maybe she doesn't have a lot of time to devote to this project. So I went into work on Friday and went over to a few minutes, some minutes before um, the start of the day. I went over to my friend's desk and asked her, "Do you have? I have this project. I have all the equipment. I don't have a sewing machine, but I have everything else. I even have that turkey carver um, for shaving the cushion." Um, and so she is pals with this other girl who's sitting there working on a puzzle. And so I went over to her friends and I'm thinking, okay, this would be, I'm just going to show her the pictures I have because I'm in my mail mode. I'm going to show her these pictures I have on my iPhone. Um, so I did, and I said, I presented one of the photos and I said, this is my hobby. And she looks at it, and then I asked her, does that look, how close, does that look like me? And she said, actually, it took her a moment to realize that that was me. That's a good mark. That's a good sign. That means that um, presumably it looks more feminine. And I'm not using any filters. I see people on these on Facebook and on social media, and I'm convinced some of them have to be using filters. So I'm proud that I'm not, because when I'm out in public, like if I do get a chance to perform on stage somehow, some way, um, I won't have that digital filter. It'll be just like Grae Phillips did. Grae Phillips was actually a man who, back in the mid 80s, some producers approached her and approached him. See, it's really because he's really good at it. Approached him because his singing voice was so high, it sounded like a woman's. And so at that time, there were other gender bending singers. So he went in and he decided, I'm going to get well done, and I'm not going to have any indication that I'm a man. I'm going to just dress as a woman, perform, and at these different, and Helmsley and tattoos and all these various places in New York City. And so when you're doing it live like that, you can't. And of course, they didn't have photo, finishing touches. They didn't have Photoshop then. So I want to be able to be presentable face to face in public, or at least when the lights are dimmed. So I've got to work on that. I still think whenever I look in the mirror, it's getting less so. I don't know if that's because I'm getting used to looking at myself looking like this or not, but I think I'm improving. What do you think? I'll leave it at that. I think this video has gone on pretty long. It's about half an hour. I don't have anything else to say right now. I'm still have to outline that memoir of mine, and for next week, hopefully, I will talk about the TV shows that I designed. So I hope you have a good week. Please, as they say, like and subscribe. I don't usually say that. I should say that. Like and subscribe. Tell other people. Please spread the word about this. Part of me wishes at work that everybody knew about this, and I'm really pleased that I do it respectfully. I dress in a presentable way, and that shows respect for other women. I mean, to and for other women. That and it's really kind. It's really nice that they've been reciprocal. Like they've said, "Oh, you look gorgeous," or "You look really nice," or "I prefer the blonde over the brunette, but you look good either way." Stuff like that. I feel like even though this is odd, there's all this controversy about men dressing as women and blah blah blah, and I feel insulted or blah blah blah. I feel like because I'm doing this, well, I'm putting a lot of effort into it, and don't you know, I'm an artist at heart, and um, I think it shows a lot of respect. It's telling. I'm confident. I'm telling these women, female colleagues, that I'm doing this because of something within. And they've said, some of them have said so much. In fact, some of them have said that I look more calm, more myself when I'm like this than when I have been at work. I wondered about Halloween. That's not until a few months down the road, but um, how I'm just fantasizing, just imagining dressing. Well, not like this with Kabbalists do it best, but do it better. But just like a regular outfit, work outfit that a woman would wear. Um, would Halloween be? I don't know. I'm looking for opportunities to be able to go and do this more often. Um, I talked about a certain bar slash theater that closed down. It was around like July of 2000, of last year, 2023. Um, I I was thinking, I was under the impression because it said opening in 2024. Now I read something on Instagram that it says it was a link to the calendar and it said opening in 2025. So at this point, I don't know if they're opening at all, really. Um, However, I did. There was a drag show. It was the first drag show I got to go to, and it was with. First, I thought it was going to be one colleague, right? And I know, I'm sure I told you this before, but I drove to the mall, dressed up, drove to the mall, and at night, and as a little unladylike, probably. That's another thing. Mannerisms. I've got to be around women more. I think I have some mannerisms well done. I think I do them well. But I keep still thinking in my head that there are little things like how, like when I hold something, I know to hold it like this. And bend my fingers a little bit, bend my wrists a little bit more, and point in a different way than men do that. Um, but I still think that there's some idiosyncratic things that women do just naturally in terms of body movements and body gestures and so forth that I would really benefit from if I had some time. Um, so aside from that, so the mall. So I drove over there and um, I was waiting around for this other colleague from work to show up. She told me about it. Um, and there's this other car, and I'm thinking, is that a man? Here, I'm dressed like this. It, if I look like a woman, I don't know, things at night in a deserted mall parking lot, I don't know if I'm, as a woman or whatever. And even if that's not the case, I still feel in a vulnerable position, right? Because I'm cross-dressing, and if that's a man, who knows what's going to happen. So anyway, I after a while, I was brave. I took my handbag or my bag. Some people call it a purse or whatever. I guess you call it a bag. And I got out and went over, and it turns out it's another colleague from work. I didn't know she was coming, so the three of us got into her. The three of us were in her car, and because the other one showed up soon, and we drove over, and I had a really fun time, and I'm so happy that they like the drag. I mean, they're women, so they're seeing mostly men dressing as women, although there was at least one woman that dressed as a man, drag king. But it was so nice, and they were saying us girls and so forth. It really made me feel at home too, and I put my work into it. I feel like I really earned it. Um, so it's at this one place, and so since then I've wondered because she said the one who told me about this said that she was under the impression they do it like because I think the chef told her that they do it like every other month or something on a regular basis. So I contacted them. I didn't get a reply, and then this past week, this Friday, I texted, and so today I got a message back, and of course I forwarded it instantly to one of the two colleagues. Um, uh, I'm guessing it's a he. Assuming it's a he. He said, um, I don't know when the next one. He said he thinks the next one may be in June, but he will check with somebody, and I hope so. I'm looking for more avenues to dress up, and with this a little bit higher in pay job I have, I could be able to afford to go around these places. I'm going to take a little hiatus. As much as they're like items of clothing, I want to get, now that I have, I think, my breasts figured out how to do that. You go earlier in my videos. I want to get more designer fashions and really perk it up because these are t-shirts I have, and I want to make sure I had some regular clothing that women would wear, but I want to dress up. It's not like a woman wouldn't dress up sometimes for a YouTube video, huh? So I guess that about does it. I will talk to you later. Hope you have a good week. Okay. And remember, spread the word. Bye bye.